All right, for the very next story, we are joined by a very special guest. It's clearly his year. It's clearly the year of everybody who's perhaps in their 40s as well. This is a story that has inspired one and all, young and old, if we can really call it that. But without any further ado, let me just bring on our very first guest on TBC and welcome on the program, Rohan Bopanna. Hi there, good morning Rohan, and big congratulations. How are you doing today?
First of all, good morning Sonal, and thank you very much. Lovely chatting to you. Very nice to be on this show as your first episode. Congratulations to everyone part of this team. I think it's going to be brilliant, and I've heard that it's not just one of these other channels where you talk about news. It's going to be more fun things, you're chatting with. So really happy to be as your first guest. And, since it's, part of the morning, it is that coffee, which makes the difference. That is what, for me, I wake up to coffee. A lot of people say, I wake up after having the coffee, but I wake up to have the coffee. That is my first secret of real success.
Well, that's great, to know that insight, Rohan. Also, there was a time when people said you should age like wine. Now they say you should age like Rohan Bopanna. I'm sure that's a great moment for you as well. But I want to take you back for a minute to that winning moment, to that career-defining winning point. Take us back to what was going on in your head at that time. We've seen those pictures where you just went flat on the court like that. What was running?
No, I think it was amazing, proud feeling, and most importantly, I mean, there was, you end up carrying this feel like you're carrying a burden of, whatever there is. Everything just flew away, rather, I would say, and that's why I ended up falling right, on that court. I mean, it was such a amazing, fitting feeling I felt after so many years of trying to get there. You're constantly trying to, cross the hurdle, or as an athlete, it was a personal goal to get better from, what you have done. I mean, the finals was something I'd achieved before. Obviously, I wanted to get to that next step. The minute it reached match point, there are nerves, and then Matt hit that great serve, and I had this easy smash to put away, and I was telling myself, don't miss it. But thankfully we got through that.
Right. So, this has been a very interesting year for tennis. We see the big three make way for younger names, perhaps, if I can call it. The conversation about age of the athlete somehow has taken center stage. And you are, of course, 43. Your partner, Matthew, is also in his late 30s. I wonder, is age a conversation among you guys? Do you guys often talk about it, on how to beat it, or how does it go between the two of you?
I don't think so. I don't think we have once, really discussed that. The conversation is, are you fit, ready to go to the match? I don't think, age has anything to do with it. And, success can come at any age. I don't think it, anyone has ever tells you at this age, if you can't get it, there's no more success going to happen. So that is where I, truly believe the perseverance of, constantly being out there, doing it week in, week out, trying and figuring out what was best for me to help the partnership. I mean, back in 2022, when I decided to play with Matthew Ebden, I told my coach, here's a great opportunity to play with a Grand Slam champion. I said, and 2022, I was not really traveling with a physio, and I said, I need to hire a physio. So luckily, I found a great physio from Belgium. Her name is Rebecca, and when she came on the circuit for the first time, I said, see, I wanted something very specific. I have no cartilages on my knees. It's fully worn out. And what I want to do is really focus on strengthening. Even the days I practice, if I'm not feeling great, that's totally fine. But the days I play matches is where I want to feel 100%. So she understood that, and then she said, okay, we need to start a lot of mobility, a lot of stretching, I have this love-hate relationship with ice baths. I
Okay.
think, and today I actually love it. It's become no choice.
Yeah, yeah, but let me sort of break it down. Before you mentioned ice baths, right? But I hear you have a lot of yoga also happening off late. So share with our viewers your fitness regime, this age-beating fitness regime that Rohan Bopanna has. What does it entail?
So I think when in 2019, when I realized that my cartilages were fully worn out, I did these platelet-rich plasma (PRP) injections in end of the year, and my doctor told me here in Bangalore, he said these injections, definitely will work as long as you start strengthening them. It's not like you just put
Ah,
the injection and you go and you're
yeah,
ready to fly.
yeah.
So somewhere the pandemic was a blessing in disguise because that's when I discovered Iyengar yoga.
Okay.
And I found a couple in Bangalore who were teaching Iyengar yoga, place called Practice Room. So, and I called them and I told them this is my condition, and they said, okay, this is going to be a challenge, but they were ready to, figure out, how to strengthen my legs because my legs had gotten really weak. Hence, my knees, my bone to bone were rubbing against each other. Hence the pain. So once they started doing that, and I was doing 90-minute session 4 times a week.
Wow.
And initially I thought yoga, it's too slow for me. It's not cutting it. But I'm glad that perseverance is such a big asset in my journey. It has been, I've always trying to find ways, and I actually fell in love with it. I realized, how much of a difference it was making. And apart from just strengthening my legs, then I started aligning my back, my shoulders, and I feel also my mind became a little calmer some way or the other, indirectly just focusing on those muscles. My mental strength also started getting stronger. And I started looking at also my matches very differently in terms of, if I would say, is that I used to sometimes say that, oh, you know what? I tell my coach, I wish my partner he didn't miss that volley. I missed that forehand. So now I started telling myself, maybe my serve was not good enough, so hence he missed that volley.
Wow.
A new perspective, and that yoga kind of helped me. I do 10-minute meditations before the day starts. Then I get my beautiful coffee to go with, and also what helps is before matches I take some power naps. That kind of really helps refresh the mind, and it's ready to go, that at that moment, those like a 10-15 minute power mats, not longer. And after the matches, the biggest thing is those ice baths. Those ice baths have been amazing for recovery. It helps
Right.
the inflammation.
So those
I was
so
doing ice
those
baths quite a bit
naps.
from a long period of time now, but not every single day. So now I've started doing it every single day when I'm traveling on the tour. Now I look forward to going to the ice bath because I know how good it feels the following day.
How nice. So you actually have those power naps in common with Virat Kohli as well. That's what he's spoken about. So we've seen or we've talked about Rohan Bopanna's fitness routine. You've talked about yoga, ice baths, PRP, power naps, all of those. The next logical question, of course, is food. We all really want to know that what is it that forms Rohan Bopanna's plate? What is this anti-aging diet that you're on? Share some of that with us.
A lot of people I see, they take their proteins, they take their energy drinks, they take various different. For me, what really works is uh, coconut water and banana during matches. That is as simple as that. Plain water, coconut water, and banana. That is all I need. It keeps me going no matter how long I'm there on the court. I like a simple breakfast. I like a lot of fruits. I like my eggs. That's what I really need, when I'm traveling. And then before matches, I eat some white rice with some salmon, white rice with some olive oil, some salt, and some salmon or some chicken. Just keeps me well fed, and it feels good on the court. Sometimes, if it's an 11 o'clock match and I've eaten breakfast, I just eat some plain white rice with some olive oil and salt. That's all. Sometimes it takes, and after the match, again I get some chicken. I have some sushi. And maybe a dinner. I try and eat sometimes a steak, sometimes again salmon, depending on how I'm feeling. But yeah, simple. Keep it a lot of very simple, not too elaborate. And I feel I have a sweet tooth, but that's when I say if I win a tournament, if I think I really earned it, then I go have it. It's not like some of the countries in Europe, you go, you get some fantastic chocolates. So
Chocolates.
sometimes it is tempting, and yeah, I do indulge.
Yeah, but how come there is no sambar rasam, there is no Mysore pak, there is no idli sambar? What kind of a Bangalorean are you really if you're not including that in your diet, Rohan?
No, it's not complete optional. Unfortunately, I don't get it everywhere. That's the problem. If my entire toe was in Bangalore, that's all I would have been having. I mean, when I come back home, the first thing I eat is idli sambar. I mean, that is what our first day when we travel and we come back, that is the first meal I always indulge in.
All right. So after all those tips on fitness and food, let's me sort of put you back on the court for a little bit. You know, your win has come at a time when Indian tennis is sort of losing its steam. Badminton perhaps taking center stage, being talked about more. What do you wish your win really resonates for young India, for young people playing tennis in India?
Yeah, I think Indian tennis we were losing out. We definitely needed some kind of inspiration. I think sports always needs inspiration. Needs. I think no matter which sport I'm watching, as long as the athlete's name is there and it says India, I'm fully invested in watching that event. I mean, it's a really proud feeling. So I think in tennis. I think we really needed this. I think it's a good opportunity now to bring in a nice structure into the system. Have a lot of tournaments. I've constantly been saying this, and I still say it, is that I feel every state needs to have 2 tournaments a year.
Oh,
At least, in each category. I mean, a girls category, a boys category, men, women, whatever it is. Each state, if they start encouraging, every sport, I think it'll make a tremendous of a difference.
right. But, Rohan, you're a parent. I'm a new parent as well. What do you tell parents who still don't see sports as a career? Or perhaps yours is a story of perseverance, right? 20 years plus to finally get to world #1. What's your message to kids, to parents who are really slogging it out on the court?
I think, Sonal, my biggest thing, for them is not to be in a hurry. One of the reasons I say that is because, say tomorrow your kid wants to become a doctor, an engineer. You go through the process. You go through the process of starting them from kindergarten, then you go to first, second, third, etc., etc., etc. And that means it's taken that long in order to become, successful, person in that field. Similarly, in sport, is the same structure. We are just in a hurry to make them champions quicker, and that's what we are constantly saying. Okay, in 2 months he's done this. What's the next 2 months he has to do this? In another 2 months he has to do that.
Yeah.
Or we join an academy, and if in 2 months there's no results, the parent takes that kid out and puts him in another academy. So there's but we never do it for school. We don't change academies or don't change coaches in the span of 1 year. We don't go 2-3 places. And the other thing I tell parents is, if you send your kid to whatever academy, you need to trust the coaches. You can't go outside on the fence and just hang around on the fence and start coaching the kid. Because I asked them that, have you ever gone to a classroom and asked the teacher what to do? No parent has ever done that.
Yeah.
They just enroll the kid in that school and they trust the teacher to teach them in that journey. Similarly, in sport, it's a process. It takes time, but you got to trust the process. And that is unfortunately something we are still learning and we are still trying to understand. And I think that when that happens, I think we'll really see a major difference in attitude of the kids, attitude of the parents, everything.
Right, you're right. So trust the process and it will take time. Rohan Bopanna is now the brand ambassador for that now, really. And like I said, as it took you over 20 years to sort of become world #1. But, you know, Rohan, I'm curious to understand, what do you think is that sort of X factor that comes in winning a sport or not? So when you hear, say, conversations that Novak Djokovic does, he says that the match is always in your mind. He always says that it's a mindset battle. Is that how you feel as well?
It took me a good 20 plus years, to get to #1 in the world. So, I definitely can say I trusted that process.
Right. So, Rohan, if you can hear me, I was trying to understand from you the mindset battle. Is that something that plays on your mind as well? Is there a particular strategy with which you go and you approach your game? Is there a particular song that you play to sort of get in the mood?
I think self-belief. You have to believe in yourself first before, no matter who's around you believes it for you or says whatever. If you don't believe it in yourself, it is not going to happen. I think that journey should be played in your mind yourself first before everything else starts around you.
All right. On that note, Rohan Bopanna, thanks so much for joining us here on the Breakfast Club. And thank you for sharing your morning with us. And good luck for the upcoming Paris Olympics as well.